white granulated sugar. Britain eats more than 2 million tonnes of the stuff every year. Now, you may not believe this, but half of that is made in the UK using the humble sugar beet. Related to the popular purple beetroot, sugar beet starts out as a seed. They're coated with nutrients to improve growth and then planted. "80 days later, and here's the result. The sugar beet plants are ripening steadily in the sun. Like any other green plant, the beet grows through the process of photosynthesis. Sunlight absorbed through the leaves is converted into chemical energy that produces glucose and oxygen. When the beets are grown, massive tractors harvest the crop. They pick it and prepare it all in one go. First, the leaves are removed. They are no use to sugar production, so they're sliced off. Now the beets themselves can be dug out of the ground to be collected into the harvester. As they follow the guiding tube into the machinery, they're forced up into the holding basket at the back. The harvesters can collect more than 25 tonnes of beet every hour. They're loaded up and sent on to the enormous processing plant. British farms produce almost 7 million tonnes of sugar beet every year. The soil in Lincolnshire and Essex is ideal for growing this useful vegetable. The sugar they produce will sweeten tea, coffee, cakes and desserts. However, before they will go anywhere near a cake or a cuppa, they need a good wash. What emerges from the other side is freshly scrubbed beet ready to be turned into granulated sugar. Next, the big lumpy vegetables need to be cut down into chips. They're not going to be fried, but this machine makes the pieces smaller so the natural sugars can be reached. Tons and tons of beet chips are passed into these enormous boilers, and the hot water gets to work. Cooking the chips helps release the elements from the beet into the water. These elements are what will be used to make the sugar with. The leftover chips aren't wasted. They are compressed into little nibble-sized pieces and used as pet food. Apparently, they're very popular with rabbits. Now, to make sugar, this sweet water is what the manufacturers want, but first it needs to be cleaned. The water contains many elements which would ruin the final flavour, so lime water is added which filters out the unwanted material. The pure sugar water passes through the filter and can now be refined. In this condition, it's not very thick and the sugar concentration is quite low. To sweeten it, the mixture is sent through 6 different boilers. As it passes through each one, more and more water is boiled off, leaving a thick, sweet syrup by the end. The sugar syrup is a dark brown colour and actually looks like frothy chocolate milk. It must now be boiled down again under very low pressure, and this final boiling process creates crystals within the liquid. This is the sugar we are all familiar with. The crystallized syrup is now spun in a centrifuge. The brown liquid passes out, leaving the white crystals behind, which can now be collected. Britain makes about half of its own sugar in this fashion. The other half is imported and is usually made from sugar cane instead. Most of this is grown in the Caribbean and Africa. To reach your teacup, the crystallized sugar must now be packaged up. The standard 1 kilogram bag is filled and packed down. Alternatively, you may prefer to use sugar cubes. Raw sugar is moistened and pressed into cube forms. As the conveyor belt moves forward, tiny plungers force the new cubes out. These cubes can now be collected in neat rows and placed into a box, ready to fill the sugar bowls in tea rooms all over Britain. So, thanks to the beetroot's cousin and a lot of hard work, you can now enjoy a hot, sweet cup of tea.